This week marks almost the formal end of primary season as voters in New Hampshire and Delaware go to the polls. One of the key races to watch is in New Hampshire, the Senate race. Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte is the final Republican senator to meet primary voters at the polls this cycle. Now, after multiple cycles where Republican senators have struggled, either losing their primary, having close calls, Republican senators this cycle have actually done very well. Up to this point, Republican senators have won their primaries with an average of over 80% of the vote, which is a stunning contrast to the narrative that voters are throwing the bums out and they hate the establishment. Senator Ayotte faces State Senator Jim Rubens. She should win this primary. It looks like she's going to win handily, but we'll see if Senator Ayotte can continue the trend of these Republican senators doing very well in their primaries and then turning the page immediately to the general election. The second race to watch is also in New Hampshire, the 1st District. Republican Congressman Frank Ginta faces a primary from businessman Rich Ashew. Now, Congressman Ginta, first of all, this 1st District is a district that goes back and forth between the two parties. Republicans tend to win in midterms, while Democrats, specifically Democrat Carol Shea Porter, wins in presidential elections. But Congressman Ginta had some problems with the Federal Election Commission. He had to repay a loan, so now he has this ethics cloud, and for much of the cycle it was unclear whether he would even win his primary, and that actually might have helped Republican chances of holding the seat in November. But now as we get up to primary day, Rich Ashew has not run the type of campaign that some Republicans wanted him to, as strong of a campaign as they believed he should run, and now Congressman Ginta looks like the narrow frontrunner to be renominated and then go up to the general election. In the general election, he will face former Congresswoman Carol Shea Porter again. They face each other multiple times. They know each other well. The district looks like a toss-up, but in this election environment, with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, it's really tough to see Republicans holding on to this seat. The third race to watch is in Delaware. This is an open seat where Congressman John Carney is leaving in order to run for governor. There are 6 candidates running in the Democratic primary, but really only 3 have a chance of winning this race. Lisa Blunt Rochester, African-American woman, former Secretary of the State Labor Department, State Senator Brian Townsend, and Iraq War veteran Sean Barney. Lisa Blunt Rochester would be the first African-American or woman to represent Delaware in Congress. This primary is a good example of why primaries are important to pay attention to, because the general election is a foregone conclusion. Delaware is such a Democratic state that essentially the next member of Congress will be chosen in this race. This race in Delaware is it's similar to primaries and districts all over the country, hundreds of districts that are either safely Republican or safely Democratic, and where primary voters will choose that next member.